Travis Daggett with Cornerstone Properties at Keller Williams. I'm talking today with Patrick Crawley. He's a mortgage broker at Opes Advisors, and we're going to be talking about the stress and frustration and confusion that can be around getting a loan to buy a house or refinancing your existing loan on where you live, or maybe a rental property, and what we can do about those things. So probably the biggest point of stress or frustration for people is just the idea of all the mountain of paperwork that they're going to have to provide, and maybe really why do I have to provide all this, and am I going to get all this stuff out and then it's not going to go anywhere anyway. So Patrick, can you talk about just the gathering of documents?
Sure. Yeah, the gathering of documents is a result of that initial interview with the client, in which you ask a lot of questions about their employment and about their monthly obligations, their past, their credit history, things like that. And the more thorough the interview, the better. But once you've finished that interview, now you know about the documentation that needs to be gathered. Oh, you're self-employed? Okay, I'm going to need your business tax returns as well as your personal returns. The whole ideal, though, is to lay all of the documentation that needs to be gathered in an orderly fashion to the client after that first interview, so you don't have to go back 2 or 3 times to the client and say, oh, by the way, we need this too. Oh, by the way, we need this too. You want to get everything after that first interview.
Yep. Cool. Probably the second biggest problem or challenge people run into is just understanding the process from beginning to end. If you know, that can help not be so many surprises. So a lot of times what happens is somebody hears from a lender, they do something initially, and then they don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden there's an emergency, and we need this, we need that, or else you're not going to be able to buy the house or get your refi. And so Patrick, can you talk about that?
Sure. Throughout the purchase or refinance transaction process, there's a number of milestones that are reached, and the client has to be kept informed of each of those milestones before they pop up. For instance, there's the initial interview, then disclosures go out, which have to be electronically signed or ink signed by the borrower. The next one is the ordering of the appraisal. The next one is ordering of the closing disclosures, and then 3 days after that, they can sign the final loan docs. Most borrowers only go through this process 2 or 3 or 4 times during their life, so it's all new to them, and you have to treat it that way. You have to treat it as I go through this stuff all the time, but you got to remember the client's only going through this 1 or 2 or 3 times in their lifetime, and they've got to have it in their. You've got to keep them apprised of the entire situation.
Gotcha. All right, sounds good. We got time for more? Okay. One last thing. I don't want to keep these too long for you. We're doing these once a week, but the last thing that I see people run into the most is making offers over and over and over and over and just not getting them accepted. And probably the biggest part of their offer is the financing. So what can people do? Any tips and tricks or secrets to getting pre-qualified or pre-approved on properties?
Yes, pre-qualification is a result of just a 5-minute conversation on the telephone. It's not very strong. Pre-approval, much stronger, and that's the result of actually meeting with the client, building a file, getting all the documentation we just mentioned, and then getting an approval at that point in time. So when you go to put your offer in, you've got a pre-approval letter, much stronger than a pre-qualification letter. A good seller, a savvy seller, knows the difference between the two. And if you're going up against somebody else and you have an approval letter and they've got a qualification letter, your offer is going to be that much stronger.
Yep. Awesome. All right, thanks. Again, I'm Travis Daggett with Cornerstone Properties at Keller Williams.
And I'm Patrick Crawley with Opes Advisors.
And you can give us a call, email, go to our website, click where you see this video. Be happy to answer any questions, tell you what your house is worth, and hope to see you next time. We'll talk about something else to help you out.